Now this is why I actually came here. I wanted to show you something. Now, fellow New Yorkers, this is even more scandalous. Okay, never mind that there's 50,000 curb cuts that are, for 16 years, Giuliani and Bloomberg refused to obey federal law. Their motto was fuck people in wheelchairs. People in wheelchairs should go fuck themselves. That's enough to hang them both. If there weren't 500,000 other scandals off the top of my head, that'd be enough to hang them both. Right? If you're in a wheelchair and you come across the street here when you have the right of way, you get here and you're fucked. Now luckily that curb cut is low enough that you can get around it, but I can show you thousands that aren't. Regardless, you still have to drive sort of out of the crosswalk to get up it. But what's really scandalous about this one, unlike most of these curb cuts, now look at how high this is. I'm going to come down here just so you can see. Imagine trying to get a wheelchair up that. Here's my hand. Okay? That's a pretty fucking big leap. But now, do you notice the real scandal here? Look closely. That's right. We already paid to make this curb wheelchair accessible. You see the curb cut that was put in fraudulently by mobster companies because most of the work in New York City is done by the mob. That's why Giuliani hired so many mob contractors to do all kinds of work. That's scandalous. We not only is that in violation of federal law, but we paid good tax money to make it wheelchair accessible. That's enough right there to arrest a lot of journalists and a lot of politicians. But again, in Nazi Germany, Nazis don't get arrested, do they? Right there, alone, proves Mike Bloomberg, one of the worst politicians in human history. Can you show me that Hitler tried to not make things wheelchair accessible? I bet you can't. Bloomberg and Giuliani. And they spent over $50 million fighting to get it, fighting lawsuits by handicap groups to make it so you couldn't, I mean, they wouldn't obey the law. Oh my God, look, there's a red light, all right. Gee, it's a walk sign. I see the walk sign. How do I walk through these cars, officer? How do I walk through, you fucking Nazi stupid asshole? And people wonder why New York City has a $60 billion budget. Gee, I can't imagine how it went from $30 billion to $60 billion in 16 years under Rudolph Giuliani and Mike Bloomberg, which is why the newspapers unanimously called both mayors fiscal conservatives. They were the most fiscally liberal humans in human history on a municipal level. Therefore, every reporter called them fiscally conservative. If you don't stop journalists, you destroy your own life, you destroy the world. Journalists. If we clean up journalism, we automatically clean up all problems in society. Because if they start telling the truth, reporters either would, politicians would be in prison, and the politicians couldn't even dream of winning.